It was had y'all. It's been a minute, so I just kind of want to do a video today, discussing a couple of things. One particularly is the Gucci Man and Pooh Shiesty situation. Now I've been seeing all of this honestly since it first got reported by City Nash on YouTube. So shout out to City Nash for breaking the news. And really, I don't even like saying that this is news, but it is kind of hip hop news. But he broke this on the internet in January after it happened. And also King AK-47, Voice of the Streets, he also, well, he didn't initially drop it, but at first he denied it. Then he actually got the facts of it, and everything so far he said is slowly but surely coming out in court or with this case. So just have to make sure I give a proper due to the people who actually broke this news and who provided the details for this story. So I'm not gonna go all the way into it because at this point everybody should know what is going on with Gucci Man and Pooh Shiesty. So just a quick little synopsis. Gucci Man, Pooh Shiesty got out of jail. He went to get out his contract. He had Gucci come down to Dallas, where he's at on house arrest, and he's doing his parole. And Gucci gets there. Everything was okay. Pooh Shiesty get a call. He has to leave. So instead of canceling it, he asks Gucci go in the room. A robbery takes place, and forced him to sign out himself. Forced Gucci to sign him out of the contract. Now I'm looking at all of the responses online, and I know the internet is just the internet at times, but the internet is kind of giving a view of a situation in our community that doesn't often get addressed. Like we all say, like, and this to my people, man. It's not really for everybody, but this to my people. We gotta evaluate ourselves. Because how are we going to say we want, equality and justice and peace, and then yet what we promote is totally opposite? I mean, look at it this way. In our, what we call culture now, look at how it has become. You got rude and unruly people, and they think that's okay because, hey, that's supposed to be the attitude. You got money, drugs, and violence. Money, sex, violence, and drugs. It's the main thing that's promoted in our culture. Notice everything we from our shows, nothing but drama, just negativity. And it's not. And I'm not saying that white folks don't have their issues or no other race has their own issues, because they do. But only in our culture again, only for us, do we hold the most unhealthiest values high on our list, right? So Gucci here is in a lose-lose situation all the way around. Like, on one hand, we know guap. And if you are young and you don't really know much about old Gucci Man was Pooh Shiesty before Pooh Shiesty. Like Gucci Man was known for jacking niggas. Let's put that out there. He was known for jacking niggas. He didn't. I know he finessed niggas in Ohio. I know he finessed people in all over the place. Like Gucci is known for this type of stuff. So it's kind of now Gucci, after Gucci got out of jail, Gucci been focusing more on his brand. So now you have an artist who robs you. What do you do? On one hand, you got the streets. You got the fans and the internet telling you, oh yeah, you gotta be You got to handle it like in the streets. Get it back in blood. But then you got another side where it's like, bro, you got a business and you got a family. You got people who depend on you. That the people that depend on you for the money, for when you run an organization and you running a brand, you can't get, it's not just you anymore. Right? So it's different from a rapper. A rapper, yeah, you got some people that, depend on you, but for the most part, it's all about you. But when you got a business, and you got a brand, it's not only just you, it's everybody that's under you that's affected. So let's say Gucci go out here and, he go crash out. The internet is an ugly place because on one hand, they'll hold you to this impossible standard. Oh, if somebody do something, you got to do it back to them. But then what happens when you go to jail? The first thing that the internet going to do is laugh at you. They're going to laugh at you and say, oh, yeah, look at it, crashed out. He got all this money. And yeah, he want to be a street dude. Well, isn't that just isn't that, hypocritical? Because when the internet gets a hold of something, they don't mind holding it to you. Look at what they did to Durk. Lil Durk is a prime example. The internet got out there and said, oh, yeah, you ain't slid for Vaughn yet. You did all this capping, but you ain't slid for Vaughn yet, right? Lil Pap dies. Now, and Lil Durk sitting in jail. Oh, Durk crashed out. He had all this money, and he crashing out like this. You got to be smarter. This comes from the same people who just told you that you need to go slide for your homie. This same exact people. These same exact people who told you to go slide and mocked you, they now are mocking you because you slid and now you locked the fuck up. So whether you winning or whether you losing, the internet don't care. Gucci has way more to lose than Pooh Shiesty. And he can't even go. Gucci ain't been in no trouble since he got out of prison. Gucci had a whole different life after he got out of prison. And that should be commended. Because for those who know where Gucci came from, to see the Gucci now, you should be proud of him. Because that took a lot of work and he lost a lot of time. And now he got a business, and yet everybody telling him to crash, he handled it wrong. I'm sorry. No, he didn't. We have this mindset or in the culture, snitching. We got to talk about this, man. Because nowadays, it seems like there's a whole new definition of what snitching really is. And I don't know where it started from. But when I was growing up, and I was born in 91. When I was growing up, there was a thing called you a tattleteller, a snitch, or you just telling. See, a tattleteller, every time something goes on, they run in and telling. That's what a tattleteller is. They just run and go, they report everything, small or big or whatever, they reporting it. You got a snitch, is a person who would actively participate in a behavior, and then when they get caught, they telling everybody, and everybody now gets in trouble, and not just them. Then you have a person who tells. When something bad happens, they're not always, or something small happens, they're not always running to every small thing. But when something big happens, they telling the truth. That's not a snitch. That's not a snitch. A snitch is a person who actively participates in something, and then they get in trouble for it. And so to avoid the full maximum punishment, they telling on everybody else to alleviate that. That's what a snitch is. That's what a rat is. That's what that is. I don't know where these new people trying to redefine stuff, because first off, if you're not in the streets, you need to let go of this whole snitching shit. Point blank, period. If you're not in the streets actively, and I mean like you don't have a criminal record, or you haven't really been in the streets at all, you don't need to be talking about no snitching shit. Because you're a civilian. The fuck you need to care about a snitch for? The fuck you care about it for? That's your job. If something happens to you, you're supposed to report it to the fucking police. That's what you're supposed to do as a civilian. Not everybody is gangsters. Not everybody is out here going shooting up shit. There are civilians and then there are gangsters. Nowadays, everybody want to be internet gangsters. So you got all these niggas all these people online talk about, oh yeah, snitching this, snitching that. Man, 95% of y'all niggas ain't never even been in the streets like that. 95% of y'all never even been in the streets like that. I go as far as to say 99% of y'all haven't ever even been locked up. Y'all just talking. Because you're trying to get some cool points on the internet. Listen, man. Gucci was a victim. We cannot deny that. Matt was a victim. We cannot deny that. BP was a victim. We cannot deny that. Only one person has everything to lose, and that was Gucci. He loses either way. So he dropped that song. The song was trash. It sounded like old Gucci shit, but it's really just like, in life, you're supposed to be growing in the elevator. Gucci is no longer a rapper. Let's just put it out there. I'm just going to say that. Gucci ain't no longer a rapper, bro. I mean, he don't get me wrong. Can he rap? Yes. But Gucci's in a different phase of life, which we all supposed to strive for. And yet, it sucks. Because this is an impossible... So, him cooperating, right? People ain't going to trust Gucci no more on the street level. So that affects his rap music and his image in the rap game. If he don't say nothing, then Pooh is out of the contract. He got robbed of his jewelry. And yet he got to go back and he got to handle it the street way. And then he could possibly fuck up his freedom and his whole livelihood. Gucci almost 50 years old, bro. At what age are we all supposed to grow up and be done with childish shit? Like, really? At what age are we allowed to say, you know what? I'll put that childish shit behind me. It's time for me to be an adult. Because it seemed like every time somebody try to elevate and grow, it's them same old crabs in a barrel who try to pull them back down into some bullshit. There are people who would rather Gucci not have cooperated with the police and handled it out in the streets than to handle it the legal way, the right way. Especially, he has a business. Y'all want him to throw away everything just to make y'all say, oh yeah, that Gucci a real nigga? Why do I have to lose everything so that y'all can give me the adoration that I had already earned? But why do I gotta continue to prove myself that when nobody, it's just not beneficial. It's not beneficial for Gucci to go out there parading like a real nigga, except to a small amount of people. So this is what I would suggest for Gucci would do. If it's more than likely his rap career is done. 1017 as a rap label, probably done. If I'm Gucci, fuck it. I don't care. I would go to where the real money at. Listen. Pop rock, or rock and roll in general, is making a comeback. That emo phase that we all went through, if you were born pre-2010s, then you know what I'm talking about. And really, if you was born in pre-2000s, you know what I'm talking about, because you actually went through it. That whole emo phase is coming back. So rock and roll is finna make a huge fucking, it ain't never really went nowhere, but we can all agree that hip hop has taken over that #1 spot. Rock is making his return. If I'm Gucci, I'm going to all these little garage bands and I'm trying to sign as many as I can. Get in with that white money. Because it's safer. You ain't got to worry about them robbing you because they may not like something. You ain't got to worry about that shit. They always focus on their music. White people love their music. White people love music. They spend the most money on the music. We spend the most money on clothes and whatnot, but they spend the most money on music. And it's been like that for a while. Fuck the hip hop game, man. It ain't done nothing really beneficial for our culture in a long time. It just went downhill. Fuck it. Go get you some of them, a couple of them bands. Get you them a couple bands. Get them, market them. Let me tell you something. Gucci can have a major comeback off of this. Leave the streets alone. Be done with it for good this time. Because it ain't nothing good coming out of the streets. You see how crazy, how messed up the mentality of our people are? And a lot of them ain't never even been out in the streets like that. That's crazy. So where is it coming from? Where's this ideology coming from? It's coming from the music. Everybody talking about get it back in blood. That was a fucking song. And yes, Pooh lives like that. But bro, there's a time and place for all that. And at some point, you're going to get tired of trying to get it back in blood because the blood you might have to pay is for your own blood. And so what you die for? The adoration from people who don't even really matter. Oh, he was a real one. He a real one. Well, King Von was called is looked at as a real one, and he's unalived. Duck, FBG Duck, same thing. We can Jay the Youngin. We can go down the list of people who were called real Nick, and they're no longer with us. At what point do we grow up and say, you know what? We as a race got to do better than this shit. We got to. Can't go nowhere. It's crazy, man. We want to sit here and blame the white man and the government. Bro, nah. The biggest issue in the black community is ourselves. We don't want to be told nothing. We don't want to do any. Our moral compass is like this. And it's not just an individual person, because that would be wrong to do. But unfortunately, this is as a collective, because as a group, we got to figure out some shit. Where do we go from here? How do we recover? Because we're already a small population as is. But the amount of good black people is even lower. Hardworking, straight, narrow, is getting lower and lower. We're being overran. It's too many niggas. It's entirely too many niggas. And that's hurting. That's hurting our progress right there. That's hurting our progress. So I want Gucci to fully cooperate. He already dropped the song, and it basically acknowledges whatever thing happened. I'm okay with Gucci cooperating. Fuck the stigma of being a real nigga. That ain't really done nothing to our community but destroy us. It did. It destroyed us. Hell, Even if you in the hood, you know, man, you gotta watch out for your own kind than anybody else. We just complain more when the police does it because we feel like that they should have a little bit more self-control. But honestly, I'm not blaming the police for how they respond. I'm blaming us for allowing ourselves to continue to fall for the same fucking shit. Because we done ran out of excuses, bro. We done ran out of them. We gonna continue blaming. Slavery been over with. Who we gonna blame? Why do we need to blame anybody except ourselves? Because at the end of the day, our actions have nothing to do with nobody else. Nobody's telling us to go out here. Man, bro. It be your own people. We can't go nowhere and have a good time. Hey, how many parties do you think that is gonna happen in the hood before somebody gets shot, before he gets shot up? The white man ain't shooting up our shit. It's the niggas. Can't go nowhere, can't have a good time because niggas. Niggas is the problem. And it's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed. Because if not, then, man, it's already hard. So I really hope Gucci fully cooperates, say fuck what the industry has to say, because everybody have their own opinion. But ain't nobody got nothing to lose. So if if we're not sharing the same risk, I don't care what you say about me. I'm protecting my brand. You're protecting your ego. We're on two different, pages in two different books. It's sad that this situation had to get to that point. But I hope, and honestly, what can Pooh do? Like Pooh Shiesty, let's say Gucci doesn't cooperate fully. And, they get him just for, a violation of probation or parole. He's going to do some time. But not a lot of time, right? What is he going to do after that? You can't go to CMG. That's over with. That bridge is burnt. You didn't took Yo Gotti's money, and yet he ain't get no money. And not only did you take his money, you took one of his artists too. Big 30 is locked up too. If I'm CMG, people want to just only focus about Gucci, but I bet you Yo Gotti is over there like, nah, get him, railroad him. I don't care if you got to blame it all on him. I want Big 30 home, but Pooh can go. To hell with Pooh. Because Pooh owe him too much money that he ain't going to never be able to recoup. Because if, let's say, Pooh does get, like Gucci doesn't, fully cooperate, and Pooh gets a lighter sentence, Pooh is still signed to 1017. Gucci's going to shelve him for the rest of his life. Pooh ain't going to never be able to, he going to be making money, but it's going to be however Gucci tells him how much he can make. And Gucci's going to control it. I'm going to put out one song here. I'll wait another couple years, put another song out there. But you ain't never got an album. You going to still owe him money. You ain't going to never be able to pay back Yo Gotti. So then you got to look over your shoulder for Gotti. This ain't just on Gucci. Like, Gucci, yeah, Gucci cooperated. But if you haven't seen the video that Big 30's lawyer did on Vlad TV, it's very telling. Because he is basically saying this was all Pooh. Big 30 was just there to do music. And it's a cool argument. It's hard to prove that, because if Big 30 is alleged to have went and got the bag that had the Draco in it, there ain't no way around that. Unless he puts it all on Pooh. And that's why I think CMG on their back end is putting it all on Pooh Shiesty. I'm not saying Big 30 probably ain't, I'm not saying Big 30 ain't probably like, you know what, yeah. I think this is bigger than Big 30. This is coming from Gucci, from Yo Gotti. And I think Gotti and Gucci are in cahoots on this. I think Gotti is doing it from the back end because he ain't, on all honesty, he don't need to be out front for this. Gucci has to be out front. Gucci has to be out front. He has to take the brunt of this. Meanwhile, Gotti on the back end railroading Pooh with Big 30's lawyer, putting it all on Pooh. If you didn't watch that Vlad interview, I'm telling you, go watch that video on Vlad TV with Pooh, Big 30's lawyer. It's very damaging to Pooh than anybody. But it's going to be hard. It's a hard case for. So Big 30's lawyer is trying to fight is saying that Big 30 was only there for a music interview. He didn't participate in any of this. Well, it's alleged that he passed that bag, and the fact that he was there in the first place is off. Regardless if he participated or not in the actual robbery and the whole, it's alleged that he took the recording of it on a phone, recorded the contract being signed, so he was actively in part of it. It's going to be hard to argue that stance that, oh yeah, he didn't know that this was going on. It don't matter if he actively took that phone out and recorded the contract signing. Why didn't you report to the police? You were there when the crime had it. You left with the people who left. You are a part of it now. You're an accessory. Congratulations. That's what that is. You're an accessory to this whole crime. Because you took that video and sent it to Gotti. Or you showed Gotti that video. Gotti didn't know that they had a gun on him. You knew. You knew there was guns involved. We got to do better. We got to do better. But that's enough about that one, all right? I hope, Gucci fully cooperates. I don't care what nobody says. He ain't no snitch. He protecting his brand. Hear what people think. So, that's that situation. Then we have the little TJ and Offset down in Florida. Little TJ, why are you running around here talking about, oh yeah, you smacked Offset? Because, bro, I don't know if Mango didn't fucked you up so bad that you have brain damage. But bro, you was getting your ass handed to you. You got socked out. And your homies didn't even help you. So, I'm not promoting violence. I'm not trying to keep that shit up. But he doing all this, and yet you're about to go to jail. 2, you directed a hit. Your friends to jump on Offset. That's a crime in itself too. You recorded it, and you got socked out, bro. If I got socked out, I'm not getting on the internet over here talking about, oh yeah, man, I smacked. Bro, I got smacked. And I couldn't get up. That's what TJ. Really, come on, man. You walking out of jail, putting your shirt on. Yeah, man, I don't know about that. I ain't shooting no Offset. I smacked. Really? On the news? Really? That's how you feeling? But you're going to jail. Just footage of you and everything. You going to jail. I don't know, man. Like, this whole, I love being black. I hate everything that's attached to it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I love being black. I love my people. But again, and I guess and for those who's like, oh well, yeah, no, you just point out specific instances. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But that's what you want to tell. So, yes, there are positives in our community, but unfortunately, it's more negative than positive. There's way more negatives than positive in our community. Way more. It ain't even close, to be honest. And I'm not saying like I said, I'm not saying our community is just fully just, but I'm saying 90% of it is trash. It's toxic. We need to get rid of it. There's 10% about it where we need to reverse them. We need the 90%, of real culture. We lost our culture. Threw that shit out the window. We threw that shit clean out the window. Yeah. So that's the little TJ situation. I think Offset is getting better. He got shot in his thigh. He's gonna be better. That investigation is still going on down in Florida. Then we're gonna go all the way out to the situation with NBA Ben 10. Now, I've been hearing stuff about Jay Prince Jr. And Jay Prince Jr., his name has been in a lot of stuff as over the past few years. Let's be honest. The whole takeoff situation. He was behind that. Duke the Jeweler? Behind that. Now you have a Detroit rapper who was kicking it down there, and Jay Prince Jr. is in the back directing NBA Ben 10 and crew to go and take the dude's chain. And they start whooping on him until he got one of their pistols, or a pistol from him, or a pistol for somebody, and he aired that shit out. Hit NBA Ben 10 and another dude. And from reports now saying that they're in stable condition. And that's good. That nobody died, but it's bad. That's a situation. Like, again, back to what I'm saying. Our culture. And I don't. Allegedly, this is all behind a female. Jay Prince Jr. and the Detroit guy was, I guess they messed with some female. Well, now you have all of this over a female. Really? Really? This is still, in this case, right, I can't really say much on this because not a lot has came out about this, but the person who shot the Detroit guy, if the cops are looking for him, they need to leave that alone. Because the only thing you're going to look for him is for a statement. He clearly was getting jumped on. He was outnumbered, and it was self-defense. He has every right to, and I think this happened in Texas. So Texas has stand your ground law. Texas, Florida, they have stand your ground law. So if he'd have killed, if he'd have unalived them, he'd have been perfectly covered by the law, because clearly that's a situation where he feared for his life. And there's no prosecutor that can argue and say, okay, I don't understand why he did that. They can't give a valid reason why he did not. They can't go against that. They can't negate that he didn't fear for his life. There was way too many people. Way too many people. In there assaulting him. So I believe NBA Ben 10 and whoever the other guy was that got shot, yeah, they're going to jail. And I wouldn't be surprised if the J Prince family goes on the full investigation. It's going to take the feds, because as long as they're in their hometown, they're not going to be really looked at like that. They bought the police. It's clear as day that they bought the police. From that takeoff trial, yeah, you already knew the police and everybody. J Prince owns them. It's gonna take the feds to come in. It's gonna take the feds to come in and get involved. And I think that's what it's gonna take for a lot of these rappers. The feds gonna have to come in and do a good sweep. Can't be state level no more, because the state is too limited. We seen that with the Wise Hill trial. We seeing it with YNW Melly, who is looking like he's been gone for a while, but his case is looking so sweet right now that he can come home. He could beat his case. And if Dirk beats, which I think Dirk has a chance of beating his, but I'm not sure fully. It's gonna take the feds to come in. The feds gonna have to, and I've said this. So in my class, our very first week in American government, they asked which laws we would like to amend. I said the First Amendment. I would like to change that, to completely do away with it. Completely do away with it. Because you have situations where people are too comfortable. People are entirely too comfortable saying and they saying stuff, and then because the fact that, you know, freedom of speech, there ain't no consequences behind it. So, and particularly with rap music, we all know that we've heard songs that referenced actual situations that happen. So it's official. But and we've seen situations where stuff that was said that was done on the streets was mentioned in music, and because of its classification under art, is protected under the First Amendment. I completely need, and it's not just in rap music, it's to a lot of things. The First Amendment needs to be done away with, not applied to. People need to fear consequences. So it's been a crazy few months, and 2026 just started. And right now in hip hop is so much turmoil, there's so much craziness that, man, it's hard to keep up with at times. So y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this. Love to hear some opinions. I'm pretty sure a lot of them is gonna probably like. I'm pretty sure a lot of crabs are going to come into this comment sections, and they're going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Good for nothing, just niggas. You can't live with them. We got to figure out how we can live without them is the problem. Or it's the new challenge, I should say. Because, man, that ain't doing nothing good for our community. It's just damaging it. Can't go have a good time no more, because you might get shot up. Like, you can't have fun no more. Kids can't go out and play and be kids no more. You got 9-year-olds out here shooting up shit. Like, bro, come on. That's how far we fallen. mean, y'all let me know what y'all think. With the whole Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Man situation, the Offset and Lil TJ situation, in this NBA Ben 10, and I forgot who the guy who from Detroit, Jay Prince Jr. and who had something to do with this. Let me know what y'all think, because it's too early for all this, man. All right, y'all. Peace, love, and let's make snitching great again.